Let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Top of the morning. Today is March the 14th. There is a bunch of games on the board for today, and we got a few bets. We got a few bets that we've placed already. So we're going to jump right into it. Yesterday, I don't even have anything to recap. I didn't have a great read on the game, and on the games, and I'm glad I stayed away because the short list did not do well yesterday. The short list did not do well. We also had some injury implications for the games yesterday when I did the show yesterday morning as well. So no recap for me because I took the day off, and I'm glad I did so. Super glad I did so. So yeah, we could probably power through and jump right into it. What up, Helping Hands? Appreciate you for tapping in. What up, Justin? Top of the morning, bro. What up, Peasy? Jamil says top of the morning. Chris, let's crack them. I need it. Kevin says Bucks killed the expectations again. He loves his Bucks. Yeah, they did. They did do what they were supposed to do last night against the hobbled Lakers team for sure. I didn't have $1 on the game, so it's cool. It's cool. We're gonna jump right into it for today. So we'll start with jaXon as we always do. AI sports betting handicapping tool. Couple prompts I asked jaXon for today, so we'll figure out which one that we like the most, and then we'll talk about that. So let's jump into it. So yesterday, jaXon liked Vucevic up and over his rebounds. I didn't even go back to see if Vucevic cashed his rebound prop or not last night. I think the line was 8.5. Just double check real quick. I want to see if jaXon had a winner. I know 8.5 was the player prop that jaXon liked based on hit rate for the last 10 games. I know that the Bulls won again last night. Glad I stayed away from that because I don't think I would have played them without Josh Giddey. Kobe White had a big game. I did see that. Vucevic finished with 23 minutes and 3 boards. So, yeah, he went under by a large margin. Only 7 points and 3 boards last night for Nikola Vucevic with 23 minutes. So, jaXon got to do a little bit better today. So, we start with the player prop. The player prop that we want to talk about here is, let's see, Scotty Barnes up and over his 3.5 assists. And the prompt was, what is the best player prop today based on last 20 games hit rate. And this is Scotty Barnes up and over his 3.5 assists. Looks like it's a juice line at -140, but it says it's an elite hit rate. He's up and over in 85% of his last 20 games, averaging 5.5 assists. During that span, he's maintained over 80% hit rate in his last 10 games, averaging 4.7 assists. And Barnes has 100% hit rate against the Jazz this season, averaging 6 assists in the lone matchup that they played earlier this season. So his season-long hit rate, impressive 84.3.1%, making this one of the most reliable prop bets on the board for today. So jaXon likes Scotty Barnes up and over his 3.5 assists today. jaXon also likes Rudy Gobert over his points plus rebounds at 19.5. Says he's hit the line in 75% of his last 20 games, averaging 22.85 rebounds and points. I could get behind this one. Recent form over his last 10 games, 90% hit rate with the mean of 25 points plus rebounds. And then he has 100% hit rate against the Magic this season, averaging 22 points plus rebounds in the lone matchup as well. At home, he's over the number 75.86% of his games, averaging 23.5 points plus rebounds. So Rudy Gobert up and over his 19.5 points plus rebounds. I like that one a lot, actually. I'm gonna look a little bit more into it, but yeah, this is what you use jaXon for, to give you some inspiration, especially if you don't have anything that it is that you like. Points plus rebounds for Rudy Gobert, 19.5, -125 on DraftKings. So those are the 2 player props for today. The 2 props that we'll go with from jaXon. So yeah, check jaXon out as always. If you're interested, there is a 50% promo discount in the description of the video, and it's more than just player props, the size totals. Yes, save yourself some time. Let's jump into it for today, man. First game we got up is the Pacers and the Philadelphia 76ers, home dog, getting 11 points. Total has shot up from 229.5 up to 232.5. And this line actually opened at 9.5. Some early money came in on last night on Indiana, pushing this from 9.5 up to 11. So we start with the injury report. Tyrese Maxey is not going to be available today. Of course, Paul George is out. No Joel Embiid, of course, he's done for the season. Kyle Lowry is out. Lonnie Walker is out. Drummond is questionable. And then Justin Edwards is also questionable. Gershon Yabusele is not on the injury report. He should play, but even him, like, he's on a minutes limit. Coach Nick Nurse said, and Kelly Oubre is also on a minutes limit. On the Indiana Pacers side of things, nobody is on the injury report. They have won and covered both games against the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, they won and covered the last two against the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly did beat them in the first matchup this season, 118-114 in overtime. The totals are 7-2-1 to the over in the last 10. And not to overcomplicate it, I think that's what you play. Either a Pacers team total up and over, or a look towards maybe the full game up and over. Not sure how much defense the Pacers are going to want to play in this spot. They do got a big game rematch against the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow. So it is the first leg of a back-to-back. The Pacers have not been covering spreads. They're only 1-4 against the number in their last 5. Only 14-19 on the road as well. And I think in their last few, they're only 5-12 laying points on the road as well. So not the greatest spot for the Pacers here, but we know the Sixers are absolutely depleted. 2-8 straight up, 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. This is a one-off home game as well. They were on the road for a couple games, coming home for one, then right back on the road to go to Dallas on Sunday. And their defense has been really bad. They're giving up 118 points or more in 7 straight games. So I started with looking at the Pacers offense last 5 games. They are the 9th worst offense, but Holly has missed at least 3 of the last 5 games. So I think they get back on track. I think him being back in the rotation, of course, is going to help the offense. Philly has a defensive rating of 123.5 in their last 5 games, which is 25th in the league. They're playing at the 6th fastest pace, and the Pacers are fine with that. Pacers still playing at the 8th fastest pace, and you want to get in the track meet with the Pacers, pretty sure they'll welcome that. You look at the head, like you match the teams up on the floor. Pacers run a ton of pick and roll. They're 8th in frequency, 9th in efficiency. Philly is the 2nd worst pick and roll defense as far as opponent efficiency. And Indiana also likes to get out and run in transition. They're 8th in frequency, 5th in efficiency. Philly is the 3rd worst transition defense on the full season. Last 5 games, they're also bottom 10. So Indiana should be able to score the basketball a ton in this spot. On the offensive end, Philly is 22nd in efficiency in the last 5 games, 14th most difficult schedule. They are 10th and above the break 3 frequency, but they're not shooting it well, bottom 5 in accuracy. So Indiana does have a top 10 3-point defense on the full season and over the last 5 games. I know Indiana's not been looking good laying points, and I know they got the Bucks tomorrow, but I would still look towards an over or a team total over. I think that they can get to 123, which is what their team total is today, especially with Philly playing so fast. So that's my quick thoughts on this game. It'd be Pacers team total over. I don't know if I lay 11 points with them, but I do think that they can win this game by 15 against this hobbled Philadelphia 76ers team, as long as they don't look too far ahead to tomorrow. So that's my thought process there. What up to my guy LJ? Says Chris Boston first half. Man, I don't even know who playing for Boston, LJ. I'm not even going to talk about the game because everybody on the Boston team is on the injury report except Drew Holiday. He's the only starter we know that's going to play. So we'll talk. We'll go. I'm not going through the game, but I understand why you like it. The Miami Heat look like the worst team in basketball as of late. So couldn't talk you off, LJ. Could not talk you off. Should be able to get a 4. I think they can. Probably first quarter too. Miami is really bad right now. What up, Adam? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Tariq. Says Pacers disappointment. I'll live bet. What up, Marquise? I agree. Pacers team total over in the first half. They'll go harder in the first half. I can see that, Tariq. Trying to get the game over with so that they don't have to, so they can go ahead and start to look forward to tomorrow. I can definitely see that. What up, Charles? Just happy to catch you live. Shout out Chris in the chat. Appreciate that. Taylor says 76ers still play basketball. I mean, I guess you can call it play, Taylor. I guess you can call it play. They are not good right now, man. Let's go over to the next one. I didn't bet that one. Next one up, we got Clippers and Hawks. I did bet this one. So this line opened at 3.5 in favor of the Clippers as road favorites, short road favorites, and the total was at 231. 231, went up to 231.5. Now it's up to 232. And I do see a 233 out there, but it looks like it's kind of steady at 232. So I played over in this game. We look at the injury report first, though. We got Norm Powell still out for the Clippers, and Ben Simmons is actually listed as questionable. Hasn't played basketball in quite a while. Trae Young is probable. Clint Capella is also questionable. No Larry Nance Jr. on the Clippers, on the Atlanta Hawks side of things. So the Clippers did win the matchup earlier this season. They actually smoked Atlanta 131-105. They were laying 7 as a home favorite. Game went up and over the total of 230 pretty easily, finishing with 236 points. So we got a Clippers team that's not great on the road laying points, only 12-21-1 against the spread on the road. 5-5 straight up, 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. So they haven't been covering either. 3 and 4. This is because they had the back-to-back, of course. Third game in 4 nights, all on the road. They should get Kawhi back here. The last of a 3-game road trip for them. I think they host Charlotte on Sunday. So on the Atlanta side of things, they did take my money on Wednesday. They beat the Charlotte Hornets. They covered the spread. They've won 4 in a row. They're 7-3 to the over in the last 10 games. So when I'm getting into the matchup, like matching these two teams up on the floor, I just think it's going to be points. So for the Clippers, even though they aren't like necessarily the fastest paced team, they are the third slowest paced team over the last 5 games. They've been really good offensively. 8th in offensive rating, 4th in offensive efficiency, 4th in offensive efficiency, and 5th in turnover rate. So they're not turning the ball over a lot. They also get to the free throw line a ton. Top 10 in free throw rate as well. The Clippers, they've been scoring the ball really, really well. Atlanta has been giving it up, specifically in the mid-range. Last 5 games, Clippers are 2nd in frequency from mid-range, 1st in accuracy. So this is the best mid-range team over the last 5 games, which is interesting because I always think about Phoenix being that team. But Atlanta, 28th in opponent mid-range frequency. The Clippers also run a lot of ISO, actually the most ISO with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard. They run the most ISO in the league. Atlanta's bottom tier is a bottom tier defensive team against isolation. And same for post-ups. The Clippers with Zubac down there, they'll post up Kawhi sometimes. They are 9th in post-up frequency, and Atlanta's bottom 10 in defense against the post-up defense as well. And then I flip it because I do think the Clippers are going to be able to score. Then I look at Atlanta offense. They're 5th in offensive rating over the last 5 games, 6th in effective field goal percentage last 5 games. They've taken a lot of shots at the rim, actually more than any other team over the last 5 games. 5th in accuracy. They also live in the mid-range, 3rd in frequency, 3rd in accuracy as well over the last 5 games. We just saw New Orleans score in the paint at will. Zion getting downhill against the Clippers 2 nights ago. I think Atlanta should be able to do the same thing here, or at least replicate that to some degree. Atlanta also likes to get out and run the transition, 4th highest transition frequency on the full season. The Clippers are bottom 10 transition defense on the full season, bottom 5 in the last 5 games as well. So I like the over here. I played it at over 231.5 last night. Like I said, it has only moved a half a point. So we'll see how it goes, but I am on the over here. Also, probably would be taking the 3 points with Atlanta as well. I think I'd be taking the 3 points with Atlanta. I know that it's moved a half a point, but I do think Atlanta can keep this game. If not win it outright, I think they can keep it within the margin here. So I lean that way as well. Clippers only 4-10 against the spread when they're laying points on the road. They failed to cover 7 straight times, and 6 of the 8 have actually gone up and over the total in their last 8 games as well. So some more reason to like the over. But I played over in this game, and I would be looking towards Atlanta if I was playing the spread. Let's see. What up, Doms? Appreciate you for tapping in. Justin says he tell when I sent it to the members. Let's get it. We need over here. Damon says he got a 229.5. Okay, I didn't even see 229.5. 229.5 that's good. You definitely got a good number. I never even saw 229.5. I was doing my work early. I never saw that though. But shout out to you for getting the best of the number. Taylor says Hawks and home and favorite with a total. So they're not favorites this season. They're not home and favorites. They're home and dogs right now with a total of 231. They're 11-4 to the over this season though. What up, Prolific? Adam says I took Atlanta, but I'll tell the over as well. I do like Atlanta. If I was making a second bet, it would be on the Hawks in this spot. All right, let's keep it pushing. Next game we got up is the Dallas Mavericks and the Houston Rockets. And I'm not going through all the games, right? Like when I'm going through last night, I'm looking at the injury reports. I'm like, yeah, that's not worth talking about. That is worth talking about. That's not worth talking about. So yeah, I like I'm not racking my brain with trying to figure out who's going to play and who's not going to play. I'll cap the games that I know, especially this early in the morning. There's no need to come on here and talk about it for 5-10 minutes, and then the injury report is manipulated throughout the day. So, or at least if there's that much uncertainty. So getting into this matchup real quick, we got the Houston Rockets. They are at home, laying 11.5 points. This line did come down, right? It opened at 13, which is interesting to me that it opened at 13. The money's starting to come in on the Dallas the Dallas Mavericks here. The more the money comes in on the Mavs, the more I like the Rockets. I'm gonna just tell you that up front. I think the Rockets can dominate this game. I understand why the money has come in on Houston, though. 13 is a big number. Also, Dallas could get a little bit healthier today. So looking at the injury report, jaXon is questionable. PJ Washington has also been upgraded to questionable after missing the last few games. I'm not sure how how well PJ Washington is, though. So we'll see. Kai Jones is also on the injury report. I'm not sure if he moves the needle at all. And then Brandon Williams is also on the injury report, listed as game time decision. He's also listed as questionable. So I guess those things move this from 13 to 11.5. On the Houston side of things, they will be without Amen Thompson. And they will also be without Reed Shepherd. But they did get Fred VanVleet back in their last game. Real quick, what did Fred VanVleet do in that game? He had 10 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals in 28 minutes. So not too shabby, especially after missing 15 of the last 16 games. So getting into the matchup, this is the last one of the season. Houston won and covered the first 2, and Dallas won and covered the most recent matchup on February the 8th as a 3.5-point home favorite. We know that they were a lot healthier in that spot. So I'm looking at Dallas, 2-8 straight up, and against the spread in their last 10 games. 4 of their last 5 have gone up and over the total. And they host Philly on Sunday. Not that that means anything in this matchup. The Houston Rockets have actually won 4 straight covers, 4 straight home games, so they haven't had to travel a lot. They do got the Bulls coming to town tomorrow, but that's a non-conference game, and I don't really think that they're looking too far ahead. This is the in-state rivalry game, and if we take just a quick look, I forgot to do this. If we take a quick look at the standings, especially with the Lakers losing last night and losing back-to-back games. Lakers have actually dropped from the 2nd seed to the 4th seed. So Houston is actually tied with the Lakers. They're both 13 games back at OKC. Lakers own the tiebreaker right now. So if Houston wins this game tonight, and we're expecting the Lakers to lose to Denver, Houston actually jumps the Lakers. So they'll be in the 4th seed, which we know 4 or 5 is, that's paramount, right? In the NBA for home court advantage, right? So I do think that we get a really good effort from Houston here. Couple trends here. We got Houston being 4-1 to the under as double-digit home favorites this season. They're allowing just 101 points per game. So initially I was like, okay, let's take Dallas team total under. And then I looked at how the Mavs do as a double-digit road dog. That's happened 4 times. They're 4-0 to the over, and they're allowing 129 points. So then I went back to maybe that's a Houston team total over. And that's where I kind of landed. I think Houston I'm going to take them either minus the points when everybody get ruled in, or I'll play their team total up and over. I'm looking at Dallas. They've allowed 7 straight opponents to score 122 points or better. 6 of their last 7 opponents have actually cleared their team total. And defensively, they've really struggled to rebound the basketball. Houston is the second best second best offensive rebounding team, and Dallas is bottom 10 offensive rebounding teams allowed over the last 5 games. Dallas also 29th in opponent effective field goal percentage. They aren't forcing any turnovers. Just not playing a lot of defense are the Dallas Mavericks. I think that they're going to struggle. I feel like Houston's going to rebound a lot of their own misses, even without a men being out there. And they're going to score the basketball. I don't like that Houston has played the second easiest strength of schedule over the last 5 games, but they're at home. They've been at home. And Dallas is also a minus 10.8 in net rating over the last 5 games. They did beat the Spurs, but they also lost to the Spurs as well. So that's how I kind of think about the game. I did better player prop. So we'll go over the Outlier just really quickly, and I'll show you guys what I bet in this game. And that is going to be Mr. Alfred Sengun. Sent this out to the members early this morning. I'm on LP, man. LP up and over his 20.5 points in this spot. You can see that he has stayed under in 3 straight games. But in his last 10 games, you can see, so this is his last 10 games, you can see that he's averaging about 34 minutes right here. He has also attempted about 14 shots, 14 and a half shots. You can see that number right here. And there's a link in the description, 7-day free trial if you're interested in checking out Outlier. So in the last 10 games, 30 plus minutes and 12 plus shot attempts. I kind of watered the numbers down a little bit. This says 33 and a half and this says 14. So even in just those games this season where he's played 30 plus minutes and had 12 plus shot attempts, he scored 21 points, which is what the number we need him to get to. In 20 of his 29 games this season, that's a 69% hit rate. He gets a fifth of his points via post-up, and we know Dallas is allowing the 5th most points via post-up on the season. They just don't have a lot of bigs. Against teams that rank in the bottom half of the league in post-up points allowed, with 30-plus minutes and 12-plus shot attempts, Sengun has actually cashed the over 21 points in 9 straight games and 14 of his 18 games this season, averaging 23.4 points per game, good for 78% hit rate this season. So I do like Sengun a lot. You can see this head-to-head matchups. He's played them pretty well. This is the 3 games this season, 17, 23, and 30. But over the course of the last 2 seasons, or at least the last 5 games, you can see that he's had some pretty good games. So 4-1 to the over on his 20 and a half points. I'm riding with LP today. Alfred Sengun up and over 20 and a half points is what I like the most in this spot and what I played. Official play for me, Alfred Sengun up and over. I do lean towards the Houston Rockets as well. I think that they get the job done today, but I'm not sure if I want to play team total up and over or if I'll just lay the points. All right, let's see what we got here. What up, TC Bets? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Taylor says he likes Harden, 9.5 assists. Hawks allow the 26 most points, 26 most assists, and 28th most assists into the restricted area. Harden with Kawhi versus teams 15th or worse. In assists allowed, he has 10 plus in 13 of his 17 games. That's a nice hit rate, Taylor. Couldn't talk you off a little Harden double-double or Harden assist prop. Like it. Charles says Rocket trifecta or nothing, Dallas and Cancun. They still gonna try, I think, Charles, but I agree with you. What up, user? Appreciate you for tapping in. Quinn says Dylan Brooks over 13.5 points. I seen Dylan Brooks been hooping. He has been hooping. Taylor says cap that whole Hawks game with them as favorites. It's too early. That's a fact, Taylor. It happens, man. It happens. It'll be okay. It's all right. You still got time. You make a play yet. Tariq says going back to Houston first half. Couldn't talk you off. KT says wake that ass up. LJ says Rockets smash 12-3 ATS versus division, 7-0 ATS at home versus division. So they take these games serious, and they don't have a look ahead either. I think I put it in my notes. I don't even think I wrote it in my notes because if they did have a look ahead, I would have wrote it in my notes. So I like that, LJ. I like that a lot. Like I said, I'm just waiting to see if the number gets smaller, but I definitely want I want Houston in this spot. Adam says got to roll with the Rockets versus depleted Mavs. Big numbers should be able to score and rebound at will, and I agree with that as well. KT says, bro, stay dedicated. Every morning sharing knowledge and resources, trying to print some money for the people. Salute to you. Appreciate you for tapping in, KT. Appreciate these kind words as well. Brian says Hawks, he got him at +4. Like it. I like that bet a lot. All right, let's keep it pushing. Next game we got up is the Cavs and the Grizzlies. I'm not sure what this line opened at. Let's see. I see not sure what it opened at. I know that it didn't open 7 though. Let's see what I wrote in my notes. Maybe, I know it didn't open at 2.5. It's actually come down to 2 now. So we'll see how the line moves throughout the day. We'll see if Jared Jackson Jr. plays, but let's jump into the matchup. The reason why the Memphis Grizzlies are only laying 2.5 why they're only getting 2.5 points in this spot is because of the injury report. Donovan Mitchell has been ruled out. If you have not heard the news, he's ruled out with a groin injury, and DeAndre Hunter is also listed as probable. Santi Aldama has been ruled out. Jared Jackson Jr. has been upgraded to questionable, so he could return in this game. And you do got a little bit of a revenge spot here from Memphis. They did lose by 6. They were getting 6, so that finished as a push. And this was earlier, like a couple weeks ago, on the 23rd of February. They played. Cleveland has won 4 straight in the head-to-head matchup. So you got a Cavs team Coming off 2 days rest, they are 21-10 against the spread on the road. I think like a 14-15 game winning streak. They're only 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 and 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 though. And they got I wouldn't say a big matchup, but they play Orlando on Sunday. That is more of a conference game than this one is. So we'll see. I've been saying this for a while. Real quick before I jump to the Memphis side of things, I've been saying this for a while. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be a fade ATS-wise. I think that they'll still try to win games because you want to build on what you have already. But they're 55-10. At this point, like, they're not really playing for anything. I don't think Boston really cares about catching them in the standings. I think Cleveland wants to continue to play good basketball. I think they want to continue to win games. I don't think that they want to continue to win and cover these big spreads. Like that 17.5 should have been an automatic bet for Brooklyn last game. And I got caught slipping because I should have been on that. Anyway, in this game, now you got them just laying 2 points though. So you kind of need Memphis to win this game outright. Memphis is not been great recently, specifically, at home. They're 0-6 ATS last 6, 1-7 ATS last 8 as a home, just at home in general. 4 straight wins for them, but they only won 8-1 against the spread in their last 10. First leg of a back-to-back. They got the Miami Heat coming to town tomorrow. I think they care more about this one though. The problem when I'm going through it this morning, the problem though, if you like the Memphis Grizzlies to win this game, is their 3-point defense has been so bad recently. They're actually the worst 3-point defense from an accuracy perspective over the last 5 games. We know Cleveland, all they want to do is shoot a ton of threes. 5th in frequency last 5 games, 5th in frequency on the full season. Cleveland also 5-0 straight up, 1-4 against the spread though without Donovan Mitchell. So they won the games, which is pretty much just what you need them to do today. They are 5-0 in the games that Donovan Mitchell hasn't played today per Killer Sports. Memphis is 3-1 to the under if they are in their last 4 games as a home dog. Those games are only averaging 226 points. They stand under the total by average of 11.5. So I know it's a super high total. I know you don't want to bet the under based on Cleveland and Memphis, the pace that could be played in this game. But I kind of want to take under. The reason why I didn't bet it and it's not an official play, or like I'm not even gonna put it on the screen, is because, like I just mentioned, that 3-point defense has just been so bad for Memphis. I feel like Cleveland can still get hot from the 3-point line. If those shots are going in, Darius Garland's been trash recently. But if Darius Garland and Strus and DeAndre Hunter and even Evan Mobley shooting threes and Ty Jerome and those guys get hot, you still got guys like Dean Wade coming off the bench. Like those guys get hot. Sam Merrill, they could score the basketball against Memphis. So I'll just lean under here. Not really sure what to do with this from a side perspective, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't think Cleveland's necessarily punting the game. I think they'll try to win, but I do think Memphis at home as a dog is a lot more profitable than Memphis at home, as a favorite. I just think about Memphis being a dog at home. The last couple times have been against OKC, and they've gotten steamrolled in both of those games. So I'll just kind of probably watch this one. I don't really want to bet the side. I do lean under on the total though, especially with it being so high. But that's all I got for you guys on that one. No play for me at all. Let's see. Adam says, with Taylorless and Goon play, your player props are hitting about 79%. Yeah, player props feel like they've been better than sides and totals for sure. Not sure what percentage I'm hitting that on player props. I would have to go look at my numbers, but yeah, they have been hitting. Jamel says Isaac Okoro under his 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists on Bet365 for him. Good morning, Tasha. Tariq says Memphis first half, Cavs slacking in the first half. They have been slacking in the first half. I can see that, Tariq. Could definitely see that. Memphis at the crib on a Friday. Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. I see that Clippers and Hawks game going up to 233. So makes me 233.5 on BetMGM. Hopefully we can cash that one. All right, let's get into the Houston game. Actually going back up to 12 now, it looks like. From the 11.5. So yeah, I do think that I think the over is the right side in that game. I think Dallas is going to play fast. I think Houston's going to dominate, get a lot of their own misses. So yeah, I talked about that game already. I'm just looking at the live eye screen. Some of these lines moving. All right, I think it is it one more game or 2 more games I wanted to go over? There are games that I'm going to skip. So we'll go through this one. We'll go through Kings and Suns as well. So let's get into this one. We got the Magic and the Timberwolves. This line actually opened at 9.5, and the total on Fanatics yesterday was actually 213. You could have got a 213. So I'm capping the game. Go pick my son up from school, come back home. The totals dropped all the way down to 208.5. So I missed 5 points to the under on the total. But then it's actually been bet back up, right? Let's see real quick. Orlando. No. It's still 208.5. 208.5 and 10.5 is the spread. So we got injury report. Miami can submit late. I was like half-heartedly watching that game. I don't think anybody got injured yesterday. Cole Anthony was a late scratch though, so we'll see if he returns. I feel like they need his offense specifically in this game. Yesterday was a cupcake of a game against the New Orleans Pelicans, who can't guard the rim. On the Minnesota side of things, nobody on the injury report. And Minnesota's been playing some really good basketball. They did go into Orlando early this season, and they smoked the Orlando Magic. They beat them 104-89. So winning that game by 15 points is a 6-point road favorite back on January the 9th. And that game stayed under the total of, get this, the total was 199 points. 199.5 was the total in Orlando. And it stayed under the total. I think this one goes under as well. I don't trust the Orlando Magic offense. I know that they just played really, really well. I think you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves defense, the numbers are not going to blow you off the page with how good they've been protecting the rim. But a lot of that was without Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert came back in the last game. They just held the Denver Nuggets well under, extremely low total in that game. I think they gave up 95 points. So if you can do that and stifle that offense, I know you can do that and stifle this Orlando Magic offense, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back. When I'm looking at this last night, I'm looking at the Magic without rest this season. They're only averaging 100 points per game on the full season. They're 7-3 to the under as well. So I kind of feel like this one goes under. So second leg of a road back-to-back for the Orlando Magic. I know that it wasn't a taxing game last night. I think they almost ended up winning by like 25. Even with that, they're only 4-6 straight up in their last 10 games, 5-5 against the spread, fourth of a 5-game road trip for them. And the Timberwolves, even though they are just 12-19-1 against the spread at home, they are 4-1 ATS last 5, 7-3 straight up last 10, and against the spread. The Timberwolves are playing some really good basketball. Actually, number one offensive rated team. They've covered 6 straight. They've won 6 straight, covered 5 of their last 6. And just a lot of trends to point towards the Orlando Magic, either team total under. 99.5 was available this morning. It's come down to 98 on most books as well. I think the game's going to be played slow. You still can get 99.5 on BetMGM. Orlando's 13-5 to the under on the road with a total that's below 215. They're 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games with a total below 215 as well. Stay under their team total in 6 of their last 7 games on the road with a total below 215, only averaging 96 points per game. Orlando also 2-0 to the under, averaging just 98 points per game if they're on the road with a total below 215 and they're unrested. So I know that their offense looked really good last night. I think we see the opposite in this game. I think Orlando gets shut down tonight and Minnesota, wins this game with defense. So that's the way I look. Minnesota team total is 109.5. I thought about just taking that to go up and over. But I feel like the game's going to be played slow. So I lean Magic, more so Magic team total under than Minnesota team total over. But I could see Orlando. I could see Minnesota. I don't really like laying points with them, but I could see them winning and covering this game. Just the way that they've been playing lately. Also, the way that the Orlando Magic have been guarding the 3-point line. They've been getting absolutely lit up from the 3-point line. So real quick, if I just go in and give you guys the numbers. I was looking at this, but I didn't write it down. Timberwolves are one of the best 3-point shooting teams over the last 5 games, and they're rested. I don't think they have a look ahead either. Let's see real quick. Yeah, they don't have a look ahead. So Minnesota is number 1 in offensive efficiency last 5 games. Number 1 offensive rated team. And what are they doing? Shooting a lot of spot up shots. They're shooting a lot of spot up shots. They are number one in 3-point accuracy last 5 games, shooting 44% from the 3-point line. Third in frequency. The Orlando Magic 28th in opponent above the break 3 accuracy and 24th in opponent 3-point accuracy overall, allowing teams to shoot about 40%. So if the game is played fast, I do think Minnesota is going to be able to score. The problem with that is both of these teams are a bottom 10 in pace last 5 games. Minnesota being 23rd, Orlando being 24th. So yeah, that's what kind of kept me off. But Minnesota team total over or just Minnesota minus the points, I think are the right side. I think Orlando can get smoked in this game, and specifically because I think the offense is going to struggle. All right, let's see what we're thinking in this one, and then we'll get over to the last one I want to talk about. Wolves team total over for Doms, over 109.5. Yeah, I just talked about it. You can get a minus 115 on DraftKings right now and Bet365, best price available. But I do think they should be able to score. I do. LJ says Memphis 2-6 ATS last 8 versus teams above 500. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm thinking you said Minnesota. Okay. Yeah, they have been terrible recently. Don says this game goes under against the Magic, 21-9 to the under off a win, 7-3 to the under on no rest. Yep, I like it. LJ. Under 209. Justin says he played the under. Over for Tiffany McCray. It's a new name. It says over 208.5. Charles says don't look now, but Julius Randle is playing winning basketball. You better knock on wood if you like him today, Charles, because he is. You're right. He's scoring when he needs to score, facilitating when he needs to facilitate. Knock on wood, though, bro. Marquis says Wolf first quarter been cashing, so take him early. I feel like the Orlando Magic have struggled. I know they didn't yesterday, but I feel like they've struggled early in games as well. Tariq says T-Wolves second half, so a little bit of an opposite opinion there. All right, let's move over to the last one. We got the Kings and the Suns. This line, I saw it open at 2.5 yesterday. And even though the Kings are on the second leg of a back-to-back, this line is at, well, actually it's moving now. Okay, so it has moved from 2. It came down all the way down to 3, all the way down to 2, which is what I put on the screen here. But now it looks like it's up to 2.5, and some 3s out there as well. So got to look at the injury report for the Sacramento Kings. Sabonis was questionable yesterday. He ended up not playing in that game, ruled out with the hamstring injury. That was his 6th straight game that he's missed. We'll see if he ends up playing today or not. I think maybe they ruled him out yesterday so he couldn't play today, and they wanted to win this game because they thought it was more manageable than winning in Golden State yesterday. I'm not sure. That's the way I kind of think about it, though. And then on the Phoenix Suns side of things, Nick Richards is listed as questionable. He did miss that last game. When they lost to the Rockets the other day due to right ankle soreness. So we'll see if Nick Richards plays. I absolutely think that you need him if you like the Suns in this game. This is an ugly game. It's gross. But Sacramento has dominated Phoenix. They've won 8 of the last 10, including both wins and covers this season. Both games went up and over the total as well. Of course, both of those games had De'Aaron Fox, and they were played a while ago. So Sacramento playing second leg of back-to-back games. They have not been great in this spot this season. Only 4-8 straight up, 3-9 against the spread when they're playing unrested, including 4 straight non-covers. Also, they're 2-5 straight up and against the spread if they're playing unrested and on the road. So they have not been a profitable team on the road without rest. The Phoenix Suns, first game back home after a 4-game road trip. They've only won 3 of their last 10 games. They've covered, though, 4 of their last 5 games, but they have been a dog in a couple of those. So they've covered 3. They've covered 4 of their last 3 of their last 4. But they did lose to Houston, didn't cover that game. They play in LA against the Lakers on Sunday when the Lakers return from this road trip. So I'm looking at Phoenix, right? And this is how gross the game is. I'm looking at Phoenix. They're only 5-12-1 against the spread as a home favorite this season. They've covered 29.4% of their games. But if you look at the Phoenix Suns and they're a short home favorite, so 2 possessions or less, I just put 5 in on both sides of the spread. Like they are 3-0 straight up. Only 1-3 against the spread, but 3-0 straight up. Says that Phoenix, I guess, should win this game. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think initially I'm thinking over in this game because I kind of feel like Sacramento is going to be able to score. We know Phoenix is a bottom 10 defensive rated team last 5 games. I know that they have a little bit of rest in this spot, but I'm not sure. I never really want to bet on Phoenix actually, having to play any resemblance of defense at all. So I kind of lean over. Problem is both teams play very, very slow basketball as well. This is a difficult game, and I'm kind of, as you can hear, I'm kind of just talking it out. So Sacramento playing at the 5th slowest pace last 5 games. Phoenix Suns playing at the 7th slowest pace last 5 games. Both teams have played a very difficult strength of schedule, 5th and 8th. Sacramento playing the 5th, Phoenix playing the 8th most difficult schedule. But yeah, it's the defensive ratings. Both of these teams are terrible defensively. Sacramento has a 123 defensive rating, which is 24th in the NBA, and the Phoenix Suns have a 125.6 defensive rating, which is 28th in the NBA. So neither one of these teams playing defense. We know Sacramento, we expect them to get out and run a little bit, which I feel like they didn't do as much last night against the Golden State Warriors. But I am expecting them to get out and run. They are 8th in transition efficiency on the full season, and Phoenix has been a terrible team stopping teams in transition. They're 25th in opponent efficiency and 26th in opponent frequency. So teams are getting out and running against them. If you look at where Sacramento has been shooting the basketball, the midi, right? A lot of De'Aaron Fox. I'm not De'Aaron Fox. A lot of Zach LaVine and a lot of DeMar DeRozan. First in mid-range frequency, 8th in mid-range accuracy. Phoenix is 27th in opponent mid-range accuracy, so they're not defending that shot well at all. And I think Sacramento, if they can they can knock down some threes, which they have been shooting it well, 7th in frequency, 7th in accuracy last 5 games. I do think that they should be able to score the basketball against this Phoenix Suns team. And if I'm betting on Phoenix, I kind of just think that they're going to be able to score. Like I don't want to lay points with them, but I kind of feel like they should be able to score. And Sacramento's defense, as well as it had played for like 6 or 7 straight games, I mean, they looked god awful last night. Clearly couldn't guard the 3-point line. If you watched the game, then you saw Golden State scored 130 points last night. A lot of those were 3-pointers, and it wasn't even Steph. I think without Steph, they shot like 16 to 26 from the 3-point line. And Sacramento has reverted back to a very poor 3-point defense. On the full season, they are the worst 3-point defense in the NBA. And last 5 games, they're bottom 5 as well, guarding the 3-point line. So I kind of think both teams should be able to score. Like I said, from a pace perspective, maybe not there, but I kind of feel like both teams should be able to score. So I'll lean over here. Didn't play the game though. Did not play the game. Let's see. JFX says, I don't trust the Suns to save my life, but this seems like a game they could possibly potentially cover. In my opinion, yeah, I think that they can. I'm just not putting my money on it. Marquis says, too many scores on both sides. Got to take the over. So he likes over. Blunt says, I'll take the Kings money line for plus money, Chris. You're not going to hear me talk you off of it, Blunt. I told you I wanted the Suns one time, and I played them that one time. Have not bet them since, and I don't want anything to do with the Suns laying points. So couldn't talk you off. Tiffany says, I don't trust the refs. We're not even sure who the refs going to be. Jamel says, Suns are nothing for me if Sabonis isn't playing, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back. Can understand that. Like I said, this is a gross game. Tariq says he likes over 234.5. I do see that available on BetMGM. This says Suns 5-1 straight up at home versus the division. This short line, so 1 possession, they should win. Just when you think the Suns should win a game, they that's the problem with the Suns, right? Is when they should do something, they end up not doing it. Suns is a favorite this season, so when they should win, they're 24-12 straight up. So to your point, LJ, they have been winning games 66% of the time they've won, but 13-22-1 against the spread, covering just 37% of the time. If we look at the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8-2 to the over last 10 games as well as a favorite. So it says over, 8-2 to the over, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12-4 to the over last 16 games. Over like I said, that makes the most sense. And this trend heavily favors over on the full season at 21-14 and 1 to the over. So that's another 60% trend on the over as well. And I told you guys that the Kings on the road, well, Kings unrested is an over spot as well. They are 8-4 to the over, unrested, 4-1 to the over in their last 5 games, unrested as well. Games averaging about right at where this number is, 236 points. The pace just scares the hell out of me in this one. But I agree. I do agree. Could easily be a Sun spot. I wouldn't talk anybody else back in the Kings, especially if Sabonis plays. They'd probably dominate the boards, especially if Nick Richards doesn't play. That's something you got to take into consideration as well. Charles says backwood. Speaking of backwood, Charles, real quick. Backwood, the Toronto Raptors and the Utah Jazz game. I'm not talking about that. Backwood, Charlotte Hornets and the San Antonio Spurs game. I'm not talking about that. Charlotte was actually a +7 yesterday too. And it was actually, I was going back to Charlotte. I was going to play them again. Loved the matchup against them, against San Antonio. And then, of course, the De'Aaron Fox news came out that he wasn't going to play, that he's done for the season. He's going to have surgery on his hand, I think it is, to get that right so him and Wemby can be, you know, a dynamic duo come next season. So that line dropped all the way down to 3, I think, 2.5. And now it's sitting at 3. I don't want the Charlotte Hornets +3 because then I need them to win the game, and the Hornets are not good enough. But I can't lay points with the Spurs. The Spurs are, I think, 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. I know they did just beat Dallas, but I think Charlotte's going to dominate the boards. And the only way I would look is +3 in that game. Don't want the Hornets to actually win a game, but I think that they are the right side. And just really upset that I missed the best of the number because, like I said, it was +7. I saw the De'Aaron Fox news about 15 minutes after it dropped, was outside playing soccer with my son, and came back in the house and saw that they had already moved. And I think that that's how many points he's worth to the spread. Also, what other game didn't I cover? Backwood, the Boston and Miami game. Like I said, everybody on the injury report for Boston except Drew Holiday. So I'm not going to talk about that game while I'm on this while we're doing this stream either. So, and I think that's all the game. So that's what we got there. Dom says, I don't know how Suns fans have made it mentally through the season. Watching them is rough. Yeah, it's rough not watching them not get a stop, giving up a bunch of points in transition, get dominated on the boards. Yeah, the Suns are, man, it's terrible, man. And the crazy thing about the Suns, last thing I'll say before we jump into a quick recap, the crazy thing about the Suns is the Suns have the highest paid roster in the NBA. Like, they have the highest payroll. To go out there and put out that type of performance is terrible, man. But that ain't what we're here for. We're trying to get some cash. The way that I'm trying to get some today, jumping straight into a quick recap, is with the Clippers and the Hawks to go up and over that 231.5, which is moving now. So it's up to 233.5. So hopefully we got the best of the number. Hopefully that bodes well for us. And then I did play Alfred Sengun. Give me AP. They call him AP. You listen to the Dallas. If you listen to the Houston Rockets commentary with the guys on there. Give me AP today, man. Alfred Sengun up and over his 20.5 points. I'm gonna try to find a couple more player props. Also, didn't talk about Lakers and Nuggets. I'm not sure if Luka's gonna play on the second leg of that back-to-back. Well, yeah, easy pass for me in that game. Probably won't dive too deeply into it. Toronto, Utah just got stuff all over the board. So 2 official plays for me today. Grade me off of these. Hopefully we can get back to some winners. Didn't play anything yesterday, so I was starving to try to find a play for today, and I think we found some good ones. Best of luck on whatever it is that you guys are playing. Resources, as always, are here to handicap the games. Check them out. jaXon likes. What did I say jaXon likes earlier? Just for people that are interested. jaXon likes Rudy Gobert. I'm going to look into this. This points plus rebounds for Rudy Gobert over 19.5. I like that. I will be looking into that. jaXon also likes Scotty Barnes over his 3.5 assists. That line is pretty juice. But yeah, those are the 2 player props that jaXon likes today. So yeah, check the resources out. Links are in the description as they always are. We'll be back in the morning. I think I got to go early in the morning because my son got a soccer game. But yeah, we'll probably go early in the morning for tomorrow's show. Best of luck on all your action for today, man. Whatever it is that you are betting. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Enjoy your Friday. I'm out.